guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Erin and I do mostly budgeting videos like the one you're about to see here. Alright, today's video is going to be good in the sense that I'm going to be really catching up my budget planner with what's been going on so far during the month of May. Now, as you guys know, I pay my bills a month ahead and I've been doing that for several years. And if you're interested in some tips on how you can do the same, I do have a video on sidestepping your way to a month ahead. So if you want to check that out, that is in my list of videos. Recent videos. So I'm just gonna get started, and I thought of the perfect name for this little guy, and I'm gonna be calling him Pinkberry because you get it? It's like Pinkberry is a thing, but he's also a bear, so he's berry. So anyways, this is Pinkberry, and he's gonna hang out while I do my budget. So I have my calculator ready and my budget planner tool notebook cover. Some of you said you were gonna try and see if you could still find it. And I hope you do, because I love this cover. So, all right. So what I did so far was pay a couple things for June, but I also wanted to catch you up on what happened during May. And May's bills got paid in April, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the bills that I put aside for my subscriptions. And I'll just get into the whole details. So this is my month on 2 pages. If you like this kind of layout, you can still request a download for absolutely free. All you have to do is be a subscriber to my channel. And of course I have my monthly planner here that you can download for free. And then I did a video last night to let you know that June's planner is available. And some of you have been already requesting to download that. So if you're like me and you're already working in June, you definitely want to get your hands on that so you can print it out or save it to your desktop. All right, so I went ahead and I finally updated this page. So let's get into that really quickly first. Now, I do use real numbers, and I've been doing that ever since I started my channel. My channel started basically to talk about a debt journey and to reflect my debt journey. And at that time, several years ago, around 2018, we were like 36 or I think it was like $36,000 in credit card and loan debt. Some of that, well, a large part of it was for home improvement, but still really, really big numbers. And we were able to get ourselves out of that. And then I just continued. I was doing my Paycheck budget videos with you guys. I was doing cash envelopes at the time. I'm toying around with the idea of going back to that because I think that it might curb my spending a little bit more, but we'll see. So anyways, let's just get back into the monthly as a whole. So now we're talking about income that's coming in during our current month, which is May. So my husband has like a pre-retirement account. We got 24, 55, 22. If you're curious what that's all about, you can check out any of my previous videos. I go into that. I got paid 3 times this month, or I will be getting paid 3 times this month. And that happens twice a year for me because I am a bi-weekly Paycheck employee. So twice a year, you get that third pay. And ever since I've been paying my bills a month in advance, I really feel that extra as almost a bonus. So pay number 1 happened on May 3rd. It was for $1594.24. Commission pay was on 5/12, and that was for $1,136.01. And then tomorrow I get paid, but it did hit my bank early. I do have, I guess, early deposit. And that was for $1,598.35. So I do have 2 more pays coming in, my husband's base pay, and then that third pay of mine. And then I'll go ahead and I'll total everything at the bottom. But this is what has already been paid for the month of May. But again, it did come out of our April income. So our mortgage, home insurance, gas, electric, water, trash, car insurance, car lease number 1, car lease number 2, cell phones, cable/Wi-Fi, taxes, a furniture credit card, which is 0% interest, and Bank of America, again, 0% interest. We had some pretty high ticket items that we wanted to buy, and we didn't want to use our savings. because right now our savings is in a high yield checking account and therefore, or high yield savings account, therefore we didn't want to pull any money out of there that we didn't have to. So I went ahead and opened these 2 cards recently, and this was for some living room furniture, and this was for some other expenses we had just for like around the house. This is 15 months no interest on new purchases. This is 12 months no interest, but I am consolidating these $250 a month payments into 11 months rather than 12 because I don't want to get caught, you know, with semantics or, you know, weird dates on the calendar that I missed it by 1 day or something, and then I get charged the whole year's worth of interest. So that brought us to a total of $46.96 and 34 cents. And then I also had to put a down payment on my car, which is my car lease number 2. Now we do get a bit of a discount on our cars through my husband, and so and it's through his past work. But anyways, that's why our lease payments are quite low according to most people, and according to most figures right now. To lease a car and to buy a car, it is so expensive. So we do lease. Don't come for me because we lease. We've been doing it for a long time. It's fine. We don't put a lot of miles on our car, and to be honest with you, it's just been working out for us. Now, down the road, I'm not saying I'm against buying a car. My next car, I might buy. But we'll see. You know, I always never wanted that big car payment, you know, that you had to condense your entire price of the car into 5 years or 6 years. It was always so much money to me, and it wasn't money I necessarily wanted to part with every month. But anyways, I see the wisdom in buying a car. I also see the freedom in leasing. So it is what it is. We're all different. So on the down payment on my lease was $1,840.00. So that was for tax, title, first month payment, all that stuff. So that is that. So let's get into our paycheck budget. Now I want to talk about the first stream of income that we had. So that was on May 1st. So right now, as you can see, we have covered all of May's bills. So right now, any income that we have is going to be going toward our June expenses and our June bills. So I just wanted to reiterate that because, like I said, our system and our process of doing things is paying a month in advance. So this is my husband's early retirement payments. He was a displaced worker. He worked in 2 different states for a long time. He had to travel a lot between the 2, and when he became a displaced worker, they all did, he was faced with moving somewhere else, and we didn't want that because it was just too far. And so at that time, we just decided for him to take the early retirement. This is his private retirement account. This has nothing to do with Social Security or anything like that, but he did have enough years, and since he was displaced, the combination of the 2 made him eligible. So he won't be eligible for Social Security for a decade and a half. It's going to be quite some time. So we get $24.55 a month and 22 cents, but also in that is health insurance for both of us for life. I get health insurance at my job, and so it's not absolutely necessary that I have this, but let me tell you, the freedom that you feel from knowing that you have guaranteed health insurance for life regardless of your work situation, it is a blessing. It's a blessing. All right, so let's go with our fixed. So we're doing mortgage for June out of this, and my mortgage payment is very different from a total monthly mortgage payment because we don't escrow. So we keep our interest and principal, which is this amount. It's just on us. It's $1,867 something. I usually try to round up and just pay $1,900. Sometimes I pay $1,870, but I always round up a little bit. But this is our principal and our interest, and right now, since this is a new mortgage, we're just paying interest. I mean, that is what it is. So that is for June. So I'm just gonna put June here. And what else did we pay? So we had some variable expenses. So first, gas. And when I say gas, I mean gas for the cars. And then groceries. Our grocery bill is really much higher than it used to be. Now we have my mom living with us, and my mom does contribute. So there's a lot of times my mom pays for things that, you know, aren't necessarily worked into this budget, or money goes into another account. You know, we just do it like that. But I don't really want to bring in, you know, her situation and what she does for living here or anything like that into my regular budget. Let's see. Dogs and dog RX. So sadly, we only have 2 dogs now. We lost our little Thena last year when I was, I guess, on a break from YouTube, and it was really sad. She had some kidney failure, but we were treating her, and one night she had a stroke, and it was one of the longest and worst nights of my life because she was holding on, and we ended up taking her to the emergency vet the next morning as soon as it opened, which if you've ever been in that situation, everybody is there as soon as they open the doors. We don't have a 24-hour around here. So, and also it was a Saturday on top of it. So we took her in there. Now she was pretty much unconscious, but she was still, you know, labored breathing and all that. And we had to put her down, and it was awful. It was just, you know, the right thing to do, but it was so traumatic. So we have the 2 dogs now. We have Olive and we have Stella, and they are going strong at their age. One is 13, going to be 13 in August, and Olive turned 15 this month, which is crazy to me, but they're both going as strong as they can. But they both have some osteoarthritis and some mobility issues. They're pugs. And so Stella has a prescription now. She's on an anti-inflammatory. And we paid $60. And when I say dogs here, this is food. So ever since Thena passed away, well, we had to create a special diet for her, a very low protein diet, which was what her kidneys called for. We got used to making their food, and we toyed around with that a little bit, you know, prior to her getting sick. We would try to make food once in a while and, you know, whatever, but now we are 100% invested, committed, whatever you want to call it. And we make their food every single week. In fact, we make it twice a week. So what we do is we buy a ton of chicken. We try to watch when chicken thighs go on sale, and we mix it with carrots. And we don't do a ton of chicken per serving, because even though neither one of our dogs has that low protein diet necessity requirement, we still try to not overload them with protein because they are old. So we do carrots, a little bit of pumpkin, the chicken, green beans, and I can't remember what else. My husband usually makes it. But anyways, so that is what we usually spend here. And I usually try to keep that separate, but sometimes I put it in with the rest of our groceries. It just depends. So let's total all that up. So all those expenses together. 100, 175, 140, 40, 60, $515. And I think that was all I had. Yeah. So I'm going to mark that here, total. And then if you add $515 to $1,900, we have $2,415. Okay. $2,455. 22 minus $2,415. So we had about $40 left. That's about it. Wait. 24.40. Oh my god, 24.55. 22 cents minus $1,900 minus $515, $40.22. So here is where I put my receipt numbers, and this is how I use this whole worksheet. So income, if there was more than one, I would add those up here, but there was just the one. Fixed expenses, $1,900. Variable expenses, $515. Savings, we did 0, and that left us with $40.22. Now there is a space here for sinking funds or your savings, and of course there's more line items here for your fixed expenses. So that is what we did for the May 1st income. That's it. So I think we're already at 16 minutes. So I think I'm gonna cut it here, and then I will resume tomorrow, and I will go over our next paycheck or our next 2 paychecks, because right now we are looking at, we're almost through the month. So we've got income up until the 17th, which is tomorrow. So I should have quite a bit more content to do and more pages in order to bring you up to speed. But that is how we spent the retirement check. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you didn't already get your download, what are you waiting for? Try it. You might like it. You might find that it proves to be a good tool in your budgeting journey, make things a little bit easier for you, or maybe just give you a different way of doing things. Or maybe it can just inspire you to create your own printables, your own layouts. And if you don't have a printer and there's just no way you can use it, you don't do digital budgeting, definitely take a screenshot and create your schematic in a 3-ring notebook, or not a 3-ring notebook, a spiral notebook. I've done that before. That used to be my reality. I used to draw out my layouts and it worked perfectly. But you also don't have to have a happy planner to print these out. I use a happy planner hole punch, but you can also use a 3-hole punch and put it in a binder, all the printouts, or you can just leave them as is, don't hole punch them at all, and put them into page protectors. So there's millions of ways you can do things. In that aspect, you can also then forfeit printing double-sided, because you can just put 2 pages in one protector back to back and it will look double-sided. So there's all kinds of workarounds to make it work for you, but make sure you request yours if you haven't done so already. And like I said before, you guys being here means more to me than you realize. I'll see you next time.